What's up, guys? Old School Iron with Milton Mills and Alex Bergman coming at you live with episode 1, training some delts, arms, and abs.
That's right. So first thing we start out with, because our rear delts are a bit of a weak point,
As you can see.
Yeah.
You'll see on mine too, don't worry.
Rear delt flies. So for me, my advice on this would be to try to keep your shoulder blades from moving too much and keep the traps out of it. But you can see there's just a certain amount of that you can't control, you know.
Yeah. And on mine, I have to, as you notice, my hands aren't actually like wrapped around the grip because I feel like I use my traps too much, and it's really hard for me to really feel and mind muscle connection with my rear delts. So I always just kind of leave my hands just kind of on it, not really close grip there. Alright, so here, after that, we moved into the Superset, bent over lateral raises and seated lateral raises. Like we said earlier, rear delts, real issue. Here, I'm trying to, instead of just taking my hands and going straight out with it horizontal, I try to kind of, turn the thumb part of my hand a little, what would you call that?
Yeah, maybe down to the floor.
Yeah, a little more towards the floor, keep my elbows kind of coming out and using my elbows.
The more that your elbows come by your sides when you do them, the more traps and the more back you're going to involve. So if you can keep the elbows flared out when you do it,
right.
It'll help for the rear delts.
And then here, when I do it's kind of same thing. I noticed that when I just came straight out to the side with it, I felt more my traps burning. Here I try to go kind of like a little bit forward out, but still to the side where I'm getting that middle delt like I'm supposed to.
Right.
So.
And then here's my superset. And again, for me, shoulders and chest have always been kind of a weak point. And believe it or not, my shoulders have come up a decent amount in the last year or so. And I think a lot of that is due to a really strict form on these flies. So if you notice, I really don't go down all the way. If you let your arms kind of hang at the bottom, then there's no tension in your delts. So I kind of try to stop short of that and just keep really strict form. But everybody's different. Some people do better when they go kind of heavier and sloppier form. For me, I kind of have to go really strict form. And here again, trying my best, I know it doesn't look like it, but trying my best not to contract my traps as much as possible and just use the rear delts. Lighting's kind of weird here, but that's okay.
Yeah, we look better in person.
Okay, so the next one is cable side laterals. We call these Dorians, but it's just a cable side lateral raise. Again here, we choose to do a side lateral raise because it gives more tension at the bottom of the rep. And like I said earlier, with a dumbbell, there's no tension at the bottom when you're just hanging there. So that's why we do these along with dumbbells.
Yeah, and we do if you're watching our shoulder video and you're seeing that, a lot of people will do a lot of front delt stuff. And the reason we don't do as much of that right now, we're trying to bring up our weak points, which is rear delts and definitely the middle of our delts, and we do a little bit of front delt, which we do towards the end of this little session of exercise. And we don't always do these exact exercises. We kind of pick and choose on how we feel for the day. So this is Alex going into the hammer strength shoulder press.
Yeah, so normally we'll kind of throw in a press right at the end. Like Milton said, we do side and rear delt stuff to begin with, and we might throw in a press at the end when our delts are already tired.
Yeah, I'm not too crazy about these kind of fixed movements of shoulder press. I'd rather have like a free weight, but I still got good stimulation out of this, and it was a pretty decent shoulder workout that day.
Yeah, so that's the end of shoulders. And then right here, we're about to move on to arms. So we start out with biceps today. We'll kind of switch it up. Some days we'll start with triceps, some days biceps. Some days we'll go kind of back and forth. So here, nothing special. Just get some blood in there. These really weren't that great the day that we did them, but you're just going to have exercises that are like that some days. But we're just trying to get some blood in the muscle right here.
Yeah, and what I was really focusing on with these is do not have an outer part of my bicep or peak. So I tried to curl it towards the inside of my body and really try to, supinate that wrist as much as possible, get that contraction to try to help with the peak.
The next thing we did was concentration curl. I'm a big advocate of this, and I'm a big advocate for going heavy on this. So in the 6 to 8 rep range, and so here I'm using 35 pounds. That's heavy for me. I think a lot of people make the mistake of going too light on this and doing 10, 15, 20 reps with this. And I think it's a beneficial isolation exercise to go heavy on.
Yeah, so kind of the same thing, focusing on the outer peak. I kind of explained it. I think I explained it a little bit at the gym. So you'll get to hear what my thoughts are and why I do it that specific way.
On the concentration curls, when I start on that, the reason I start with my wrist during pronate is because you use the bicep to help turn the wrist. It'll help with that peak, which I really need work on. So what I do, I start pronate, turn the wrist, turn the supinate. It really helps with the peak and bringing out that outer bicep, which is what I really need to work on.
Okay, the next thing we did was Superset, Incline, Dumbbell curl with Zotman curl. I know a lot of people haven't done Zotman curls, but you're going to see kind of what that is if you've never seen it or done it before. But I think it's a great exercise. Like Milton said earlier, the function of the bicep is to flex the elbow and then supinate the wrist as well. And the Zotman curl does a great job of not only doing a curling motion, but also using wrist supination and pronation as well. So I'm about to go right into the Zotman curls here. Please excuse the shitty lighting. So
It's hard to get right lighting, but I'll switch over.
yeah, we're not very experienced yet at finding good lighting, so
We'll get better at it. Get a little vein action. It's pretty good, yeah. Alright, so I personally don't like Zotman curls, but they are a great exercise, going off of what Alex said. I don't really feel it as much for me, but I do know, just knowing what the basic functions of the bicep is, I know it's a great exercise. And in a little bit, whenever I finish this set, you'll see me go to the incline curls. And what I do is, sometimes I do, unilateral, sometimes I do isolated. So basically what I'm doing is, I kind of mix it up. I don't always just do like one arm at a time. Sometimes I'll do a mix of where I do one arm at a time, and then I'll do both arms at the same time, and then I'll just do a unilateral. So I'll do like one side about a couple reps in a row and the other side, just to mix it up. Remember, the key thing is in muscle growth, according to what we think, it's just always stimulating the muscle and keeping it, don't let it get to where it knows what you're doing. I mean, I'm sure you've heard.
Yeah, so just switching things up.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard Arnold talk about it all the time. So that's what we were saying earlier. We don't always do these exact same exercises in the exact same row and the exact same reps. We're at the point in our lifting careers where we can kind of go feel, and we know what works best for us, and that's what you guys kind of do. But this whole series is more of just seeing our journey, and we'll have more actual tutorial stuff later on.
Right.
So about to go into my specialty. In case y'all didn't know, biceps is Alex's specialty. Mine is the triceps. So I start off with the pullover press. So it's kind of two movements in one. You want to always remember with triceps, you want to keep those elbows tucked close in together as possible. You're going to take the bar and keep it close to the body, go over your head, pull back over, and then you do a press at the end. It's really great exercise. Obviously, pullovers, can be good for chest, good for lats. But if you do a close grip here, and you focus on the triceps, you will feel it on the triceps, and then especially when you do a press at the end, they get pretty hard.
And also, you know, functionality is big here. If you know how the muscle functions, where it's maximally shortened, where it's maximally stretched, that's a big deal. So most people think that the function of the tricep is just extension of the elbow, and that's not true. The function of the tricep is not only extension of the elbow, but flexion of the shoulder joint as well. And so I know when Milton made me do these for the first time, I was kind of skeptical, but it seems like every day that I do these, the next day I'm really sore, and I can really feel that my tricep is stretched. So it's kind of like doing an overhead motion and a close grip bench all kind of at the same time. So
yeah. And I'm a big believer in these three. I have pretty decent triceps in my opinion, and there's three exercises that I feel is the best for mass building. The second one, that was one of them. Second one being the skull crushers. Skull crushers are great for all three heads of the tricep, especially the long head. And I mean, I'll go into talking about. I do them a different way, as you can see. Some people, think like, well, you'll see.
So I just did skull crushers there, and on that exercise, if you notice, I did a little different than what you see a lot of other people do. A lot of people tell you, hence they're called skull crushers. You go right over your forehead and you extend straight up. The problem with that is because your arms are perpendicular with the ground, all the gravity pulling down is right. You're putting all the tension right on your elbows. That's going to cause issues later on. And in the beginning stages, I actually used to do it like that, and I had elbow issues. So then, what I changed it to is I kind of go over my head with it, and I extend out at a 45-degree angle, and that actually puts even more tension on the tricep. And I've noticed tremendous gains with it.
And so here's me doing the same thing. Again, just remember to not push that bar straight over your head. Keep tension on the triceps by keeping an angle. Like Milt said, it's just a great exercise, and I wish I'd done it earlier in my lifting career.
Okay, so I said earlier the three main ones. We didn't do it on this particular day. The other one would be bench steps, but we do them a little differently, but I can explain that later on.
Yeah,
in
you'll
some
probably
of
see
our
that
videos.
in another video.
So here we're just doing kickbacks. We go straight back with it. If I were to turn the wrist, it would hit a little more of that lateral head, but it also would be using more of that deltoid. But here I just like to go straight back with it, really focus on that long head. You can see Alex going here. Alex has a good lateral head going, like a lot of people do. His is good, and his long head has got a lot better over the period of time. And so that's why I want to go straight back with it, like he's doing here.
Right.
All right, abs. Abs, I mean, we'll be honest, abs aren't our specialty. But we do know over this course of this cut that, if you don't know already, abs are made in the kitchen. This is just more of
Shaping
it. Heavy weight's going to help with the shape of it. If some people don't even hit their abs, and then they do the diet, but then they think you have abs, but they're going to be like little tiny abs, and they're going to be Abercrombie Fitch abs. You don't want that, and you don't have to necessarily have the big blocky abs either.
Yeah, you just a lot of people forget that abs is a muscle like anything else. If you train it with heavy weight and you do resistance training with it, they'll grow and you'll shape them better. Just like if I was to say that if you diet down, you're going to see your tricep better. That's true, but if you don't work it out, it's not going to have the kind of shape that you want. So It's the same with abs.
So we always do a weighted ab exercise. These other two exercises, and we do the weighted exercise. We do a good bit of sets here, as y'all saw at the bottom. These other two exercises were a little different than what we do. We usually kind of mix it. We usually always do that ab crunch machine, but we kind of mix it up. This is Alex's thing right here, so just kind of talk about what you like about this.
Yeah, so it's just I like to be able to, because I've noticed a little small difference between maybe the left side of my abs and the right side as far as development. And so I used to do these back in high school, and they kind of help even out left side versus right side. I'm not really working obliques here, it's more left side of the abdominals versus the right side. And so don't mistake this for like an oblique exercise. This is more just kind of one side versus the other. Because I notice when I do weighted crunches like we were doing earlier, I really feel the left side of my abs sometimes more than the right.
Yeah, same here. And I really did, you could really feel that one side working. So it was pretty cool. I had never really done that much until he showed me. So
right, and like Milt said earlier, no one ab workout will be exactly like the next. We'll always kind of switch it up. We might do rope crunches, and then leg lifts, and maybe some mat work on the mats.
Right,
it's different every time.
So this next one is a little bit unique. I just decided to call them side cable crunches, but basically it's working the obliques and the side abs, and you will feel it in your hip flexor because you're having to bring that knee up. But as you crunch to the side and you try to touch your elbow to your hip, you can really feel it squeeze, and
right. And the tough part about the lower abs is that your hip flexors will be involved no matter what. So you just kind of got to understand that that's how it's going to be.
All right, guys. So that was the end of episode 1, hitting Delt's arms and abs. And like we said in the video, we mix it up a lot, and this whole series is more of just our progression into our first cut ever. And we'll have more tutorial and informational stuff later on, but this was just kind of like a glimpse into what we're doing.
Yeah, so y'all stay tuned for next week's episode. Is going to be chest, back, and calves. Yeah, we'll be filming that this Saturday, probably get it out next Wednesday, Thursday, sometime in the middle of the week. And hopefully we look better than we did this week. That's the whole goal.
Yeah, you should notice week by week a little more vascularity, a little more definition coming out. And later on in the series, we'll have some more of the food aspects, supplements, our good diet, and then we will show those fun cheat meals that people who are on their diet, they like to see other people eat bad shit. That's what we'll be doing. So like and subscribe. You guys stay tuned. We're happy to bring old school iron to you. So
all right,
peace.